On today's show, a celebration of a grand tradition in Minnesota, the annual deer season opener, and what it means to those folks who wear blaze orange. Consider this place called 6-Star Deer Camp, where memories last from season to season.
Hey, welcome to the Caboose camp.
Later, deer camps are usually not fancy places, and this one is no different. A deer camp in a caboose coming up. The family that hunts together stays together, right? For proof, we bring you the story of the Slick family and their deer camp. Have bus will travel? No, have bus and it's our deer camp. Comfortable, but a little cozy. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Ron is out on assignment. You know, today we're celebrating deer camp traditions. Heck, deer season is like holiday to many families. Maybe no place more so than a camp called 6-Star.
It's opening morning, my grandpa's home farm, one of our more productive stands. We're overlooking a field on one side and then kind of a thick patch of woods on the other, and we're hoping to see a big one.
It's opening day of Minnesota's firearm deer season. Blaine Nelson's big buck wish is shared by more than 400,000 other Minnesotans.
There's been a couple big deer sightings just within the last couple weeks.
Oh, look what hope brought. A four-legged ghost of the woods.
It's a 6-point buck. It's coming right to the set that I put up. If it was an opening morning, I might have pulled the trigger on that guy, but...
He wants to sit a little longer. Surprised? Maybe you thought deer hunting was just about shooting deer. If so, you've never been to the 6-Star Deer Camp. 6 stars?
There's 6-Star jackets that we had made.
It represents the camp's 6 original members, dating back 35 years.
These hats, I think, were made a couple years later. These were made because the young guys, they were the B team. We decided that we should have hats too, so we put A team. The B team was the next generation. This is Monty right here.
Founder, Monty Blomquist, passed away in 1988, but his memory lives on.
Back in approximately 1980, my dad and a few other guys got together and formed a hunting group, and it became more than just hunting.
Indeed, Camp 6 is like a community center on the eve of deer hunting.
There's other deer hunting parties that come here. There'll be mashed potatoes and venison. We fry the back straps and put cream on them, and that's kind of a favorite of everybody's. I'll even get a piece of lutefisk out for you if you want.
No, thank you.
It's special. It's a pretty big time of the year around here. I enjoy this more than I do any other holiday.
Yes, traditions go on at Camp 6, but the camp cannot avoid change.
This one is the original Buckhorn Bar. It's gone now. When the A team died, the Buckhorn Bar died.
And now the B team runs the place.
No, we're the B team.
It's 3 of them.
Yeah. I'm the better one of the B team. Brian, we should talk about the time that we...
Ah, yes. Like all deer camps on the night before opener, the boasting is expected. But the gathering at Camp 6 slowly comes to an end, as it always does, because opening day is on deck, waiting for a hint of dawn in the deer woods.
You've seen the camaraderie that goes with the cabin, but I think what it's really all about is just getting out and enjoying nature. There's just something about it when you're just sitting up here and the thrill of the hunt. In this stand, one of the unique things is someone brought a pencil out here one day a few years back, and you kind of count the number of deer you see. We've now seen 3 deer so far, 2 does and 1 buck.
Hours later, it's over. Another opening day for Camp 6 goes in the memory book.
There's just something special about coming out here with Dad and Grandpa. It's a connection and a time to bond that you don't get a lot of other times throughout the year. I thought for sure that there'd be more deer moving.
A most unusual deer camp coming up. The hunters are, well, normal. It's the accommodations that went off the track. The story coming up.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers, Ellsworth Creamery, Rapala Ice Force, and by Borderview Lodge.
In our travels, we stumble on all kinds of unusual deer camps. Believe it or not, a few years ago, I got lost in the North Woods and in the process stumbled on a most unique camp.
Every November, like clockwork, life in the North Woods slows to a near frosty halt. Just about that time, Bill Rogers shows up.
Pretty frosty. Try to go out to Grandpa's old stand.
And so does the rest of the family. To the Rogers, November deer camp is a holiday. Bill celebrates his way
Quite unique.
in his deer stand.
All enclosed with the windows and doors.
Up in a cushy old chair,
Sit here a lot.
Bill holds down the fort.
I actually built this one down in Bohemia. Then we put it together in pieces and we brought it up here.
Turns out, the deer stand isn't the family's only curious build.
Hey, welcome to the Caboose camp. Let me show you around.
Back in camp, a quick peek outside, and this story suddenly rolls out of the station.
That's pretty unique.
To understand the Rogers story is to go back in time to the old black and whites.
This was like in 1967.
Way back in the 1950s, the Rogers camp sat in the woods. Nothing more than a roughed-in tar paper shack.
That's back with the old camp on the other side. He's got a nice big buck.
They needed new digs, so Grandpa and the uncles talked to friends who worked the railroad.
At that time, I think they paid $400
They found a deal.
for the first main original caboose that's here. And that was $200 to buy it and $200 to have it shipped from Northholm over to here.
Two sons wanted even more space in camp.
And they paid $178 for the caboose with the cupola system on it. Put them in here and we thought we were in the Taj Mahal.
It was awesome because the tar paper shack was horrible to sleep in. It was hot.
Nowadays, life in Caboose camp rolls along.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Off he goes.
The good stuff.
This is Gary's concoction.
Hot food on the table.
And it was a dry year, so they were all along the creek.
Memories still made every day.
It's meant a lot to all of us over the years. You know, growing up, it's the way that we bonded personally with our dad.
The cupola area is what was kind of neat to us when we were kids. That's where we got to stay.
They could still hear the buzz of life out in the main caboose.
We could listen to the stories that were going on down below at nighttime.
A life documented on the camp's old white board.
Kind of our wall of fame, you might say.
Notes on all the camp guests, all the deer harvested, who's come, who's gone.
But this is something that's very nostalgic to us because we've got it going back to the original camp.
The camp sits full of old memories. Just look around. So that's the story from one of Minnesota's most unusual camps.
You know, it's my dad and my uncles that put this together.
A deer camp started by old timers.
And it was quite a cool thing for them to do for us kids.
And still right on track.
This is going to be
something for our children and grandchildren. It's here forever as far as we're concerned.
Time to join the Slick family for the deer opener. Not your usual gathering of buck hunters. Stay with us.
Closed captioning from Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories.
This next deer camp story is one of my all-time favorites. For sure, it is one of the most profound.
Who says man created the color blaze orange? Call it the color of a North Country autumn, just the way nature intended.
That's right.
Fall colors call the Slick family to the woods outside Baudette, Minnesota.
It's deer season. That's the only thing I can say about it.
Robert Slick's family has been coming to this deer camp since World War II. Robert's dad, Kai, started the camp.
I wonder if it isn't ingrained into the people and the families from way, way, way back.
Deer camp customs start with the fish fry outside.
Oh, this walleye. Yeah, it's tough.
Inside, 40 family hunters trade tales. All the things that bring people to deer camp.
Couple of fields on one night.
These days, Robert Slick comes to camp for his own reasons.
Well, my health went to heck in 1989, and everybody took care of me.
What happened? He got water in the brain.
That circumstance led to a coma. For 1 year, Robert laid unconscious in a bed. But time heals. So it was with Robert. Soon enough, he found himself back in deer camp.
Just throw her in there, I'll cut her out when I slice her.
Okay.
Robert felt compelled to thank those who helped him recover. His idea? Simple. Three days into deer camp, the guys get cracking.
Everybody's busy. Well, we're preparing a meal.
The Slicks prepare not just any meal, but a meal from the heart. Dinner in deer camp.
Looks good. We're ready.
And we figured, well, we can't bring the meat to the nursing home, so we'll bring the nursing home to deer camp.
Here we go.
It's a big day in our hunting camp.
The Slicks bus in homebound seniors from Baudette's Health Center.
Well, how's the old boy?
How's it going?
Not too bad.
One more down steps and one more down to the ground.
Some you might call old friends.
How are you?
The only reason I came.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, this is what it's all about.
A cup of hot camp coffee and a plate of venison mean more than just a lunch.
How about you, Bob? Is there anything special that I can do for you?
They represent days gone by, a time when many of these people counted on venison as a Northwoods staple.
They enjoy it. They like their day out.
This day proves, more importantly, that people still care for others.
How's that?
It's good.
Okay.
It's a simple act, and that may be deer camp's greatest lesson.
It's not all about shooting deer and being in the woods. This is something that's special.
I think northern Minnesota people up here in this country, you know, they may not have a whole lot, but whatever they got, they share with everybody. They're just the greatest people.
Deer camps come in all shapes and sizes, but few deer camps mosey down the road to open the deer season. Have bus will hunt.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Connecticut, Totem Resorts, Maui Gym Sunglasses, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back many years to one of my all-time favorite camps. It's time to get on the bus.
Each autumn, the call of the cold fall woods beckons. Time for deer camp. 61-year-old Howard Swendra
Running.
wouldn't miss it for the world.
All aboard.
And odds are you won't miss Howard if you pass him on his way to deer camp.
Bought it for $400.
Howard lumbers down country roads at a bumpy 56 miles an hour.
Oh, you better believe it.
In the family's 1956 blaze orange Ford bus.
But Howard's been driving the bus up here as long as I can remember.
The thing is,
come on,
this old bus is also this old house.
This is it.
The Swendra family turns the 56 Ford into their deer camp cabin.
There she is.
It's a family tradition.
Right on.
Fire pit. This is the famous deer camp that everybody hears about back home.
Yeah, we're gonna have fire in the hole pretty soon. Don't look like much, but it's home.
There it goes.
5 generations of Swendras have lived by the same deer camp rituals. The old bus, the same spot in the woods, even the muddy puddle out front.
If there's water in the puddle, that means there's deer in the woods. That was always the philosophy.
You broke? Here they go.
I have no money left.
You're done?
It's too bad I can't shuffle them.
It's a mini vacation for all of us.
Yes. See ya. Goodbye.
But that's what deer camp's all about.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. And that fast, the men retire to the silence of the night. Next morning, the Swendra men retire to their deer stands. They watch the woods wake up.
You're just alone, but yet you feel you're part of something.
We come in Saturday afternoon and have chicken noodle soup that Howard makes.
Good stuff.
And we head back out again.
While getting that trophy buck may not be a sure bet, one thing's guaranteed around here. That old bus, it'll always be here. After all,
how would you get rid of something like that? Who would take it?
Life at deer camp.
It makes a little noise maybe, but it goes good. Yeah.
I'm certainly glad we got to that story. Not long after we shot it, the bus broke down. But don't worry, they've replaced it with a much newer one. I think they said it's like in 1976. Well, that's all the time we have today. Ron is back next week. In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com. Share your stories on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page under the Share Your Story tab.